Welcome back into the Trevecca Sports Network, and it's poll season here as we get ready for Trevecca women's basketball. I'm Lucas Panzica, joined here by head women's basketball coach at Trevecca, Chad Hibdon. Coach, the Great Midwest releasing its preseason coaches poll. 12 teams decided in order of how they'll finish according to the coaches in this conference. I guess it's kind of one of those things that is a sign that the season's about to come, right?
Yeah, it's always fun to see those, and you know that the season's getting really near, and kind of good to get a measuring stick where other people think you might be. But I fill out the poll as well. It's a coach's poll, and so you don't have all the information: who's healthy, who's come in, what do recruits look like, transfers, those kind of things, and so but there is a nice little buzz about it when that happens. So we're excited to see that and use it as a little bit of motivation.
Yeah, I was going to ask, how do you go about that, using it as a motivational tool? Do you pay much attention, if any, to it when that comes out? Pick to finish 10th out of 12 teams in the GMAC.
Yeah, I mean, I think you do, especially when you're not picked to win it. If you're picked to win it, then you have the target, and so then you have to spin it a different way. And I've coached teams that have been picked to win it before, and that takes a unique role. But anything less than that, then you're striving for something better. And I look at our scenario, and I do think we're not getting as much respect based on what we were able to do last year, finish where we did last year without several key players for the majority of the year, 2 starters throughout the whole year. But it is what it is, and we'll use that a little bit. We'll share it with our team and talk to them, and it'll be a motivator for a day or so once they get it. But after that, then it becomes the preparation and just the grind of a season and going through all the things that you do to get prepared, and then you got to go perform, and it really comes down to managing your weekly schedule, and then obviously your next opponent.
6 players be taking the floor for Trevecca for the first time ever, whether they're freshmen or incoming transfers. You've got a nice balance there, right, of 9th graders and players that have some experience at the college level. What excites you about that new group of 6? And if you could pinpoint 1 or 2 of those girls that you think might make an impact earlier than some might expect.
Yeah, well, we've got a nice core of freshmen coming in, and then we have the 2 transfers in McFarland and VC. And all of them have provided something, for our team. Competitive practices, they're all in there competing for minutes. They're all in the mix to compete for minutes. Keely Carter has really stepped up and kind of taken, a leadership role and really done well and kind of dominated some of our practices, definitely from an offensive standpoint. And then Haley VC, leadership and maturity, been in the battle. She's a Division II, transfer, so she understands, what it's like to compete at this, level, and she's able to help our younger players and along with the players that are already there. And her versatility has been a key for us because we've slid her around kind of about 4 different positions so far, and we've kind of had to overcome, a few little minor injuries early, and then 1 injury with Carmichael being out for the year. And so that's been, a breath of fresh air that she's been able to play multiple positions. And then Alex, she's coming in, and we needed her to score and shoot it well, and she's done that in practice, in drills and competitions. And we stat our competitions, we stat our practices. We have a couple of shooting drills where we call it shooting license, and she's done well in those. And so that's what we look for her to do, is to continue to add that. So as the newcomers, all of them are providing what we need at this point, but we're going to need more of what they're providing right now. And even Katie and Grace have shown really, really good signs in the areas that we need them to do.
Talking about Katie Roberts and Grace Baird, the freshmen coming in for Trevecca this season. And be remiss not to talk about one of your returners, and Olivia Peppermint, Coach. As you take a look at the leaderboards of statistically where Trevecca individuals are in terms of the NCAA era, Olivia's top 10 in nearly every category. She's sitting in 7th all-time in career rebounds, 7th in career points, blocks also in the top 10. She ranks 5th all-time. She's got a shot to really climb the leaderboards in some of these aspects. What do you expect from her this season, and just how crucial she'll be, not obviously individually, but to y'all's success as a team?
Yeah, more of the same, and then hopefully more efficient offensively. You're going to get the toughness. You're going to get the effort. You're going to get that competitive spirit from her. That's who she's been since day one. That's who we really kind of fell in love with when we were recruiting her, just how hard and tough she played. And so she provides that. And then we've worked on some things with her, from the off season and her working on her own during the summer and things like that to talk about efficiency. And if Olivia, if we challenge her and she challenges herself to be a little bit more efficient in some of the offensive things that she does, it's going to make us tremendously better. But just reflecting back on her and her career and seeing where she kind of stands in some of those, it doesn't shock us because we know what kind of player she is. We know what kind of competitor she is. And she's one that she'll take some of this motivation. I think she might have missed the all defensive team, but led the conference in steals. And so she may be out to prove the league that maybe she's the best defender in the league, which I would think she is that.
Well, lastly, Coach, as you prepare for a December 3rd season opener at Findlay, picked to finish 10th out of 12th in the coaches poll. What is this team's identity going into the season, and does that assigned 10th place finish by other coaches in this league maybe factor into that identity at all?
Well, it doesn't factor into our identity because we are who we are. And first, we find our identity in Christ, and that's first and foremost. With the Christian Scholar Athlete model, we're always emphasizing that, who we are as people, and not necessarily of letting basketball define us. But obviously, we have to define ourselves as a basketball team and find who we are. For us, it always starts on the defensive end, and we're more athletic, we're tougher, and we're smarter defenders than we have been in the past. And so we ought to be able to expound on what we've done defensively, and which is something that I take pride in, and being able to kind of do multiple defenses and having teams in different units can do different things. And so then that leads into transition. This is the first year that I felt comfortable with a team really being transition oriented. And so you've got players like Faith and Pep and Keeley that can get out and really push the ball. Sammy Whiteman, even Dunai, those players that can get out and really push the ball. And you've got, better scorers and finishers on the back line with, Wilkes and VC and Baird and, all those players. And you've got shooters with Buck and Burnett. So we're well-rounded, but we finally have players now, significant enough of players that can push the basketball, which should create more points, should create more efficient points. And so that's kind of our identity, is where we've evolved from being a little bit of a slower-paced team in the past to being able to play with a little faster pace. Let that offensive intensity kind of match our defensive intensity from an identity standpoint.
All right. First two games of the Great Midwest slate are on the road starting December 3rd at Findlay. Trevecca back home December 10th to take on Malone in the first game here at Trojan Fieldhouse. Coach Chad Hibdon, thank you so much for joining me. Looking forward to seeing you guys take the floor.
Yeah, we're excited. Thank you guys, and Trojan Nation. You're going to be pleased with what you see this year. So go Trojans.